So I pruned my antenna some more back to kind of how where it used to be, and unfortunately what it does is it gives me like 7 to 1 from the top of the band to 5 to 1, and it gets 1 to 1 at 3840. There's like a real sharp dip there, but so then on 40 we're 9 to 1, and then 6 something at the middle of the band. Five something at the top. So you can see where you just barely miss it. So you got to choose one of the two bands when you do this. And realistically, I guess if you tune the thing with ladder line, it won't really matter. You have to use a tuner then anyway. But I figure I'm just kind of, toying with the idea of like, well, my feed line is like 25 to 30 feet. If that, it's right above my head. So, like, is that seriously going to cause me a ton of loss? I mean, like, look, I'm right here. I'm dropping down into here. I've got a ground going here to here, and there's a bunch of radials. And then going right into here, and literally coming out over here to a coax switch, okay? And then that goes down into some more coax, and then that goes down to this tuner, the one that melted. And it didn't melt. I never had a problem with this tuner until I used ladder line on the ballon. And then that goes to the amplifier, and then whatever radio I have hooked up. But yeah, that never happened until I used this damn ballon with ladder line. And people say, "Oh, this isn't a balance line tuner." Yeah, you're right. But that's what most hams use, is they use some form of an MFJ T-match with a built-in voltage or current ballon. And, so basically the argument is that that's not transforming anything, blah, blah, blah. Well, yeah, no, it's not. Because if your antenna isn't matched, your antenna isn't matched. It doesn't matter. Like, a length of wire will resonate at a certain frequency. That's just how it works. And then that frequency, there's multiple harmonics where it will also resonate. Okay? There's no getting around that, no matter what you feed it with. Okay? So, I just think that the experts have a lot of advice, and sometimes they don't even follow their own advice. But the thing is, if the antenna resonates at a certain frequency already, it's going to be much easier. Then you just have to match whatever that feed point impedance is at that antenna. When you add ladder line or coax, they become part of the antenna equation, and they become part of the antenna, whether you like it or not, because what happens usually with the coax is the braid starts to radiate as a radiator. It's really, really hard to isolate it without having something at the feed point of the antenna. If you have your antenna tuner at the feed point, then you're golden. You're absolutely great. If you have a ballon at the feed point, you should be good. Should be. But other than that, like, you're going to have an effect every time that you change the feed line length or this and that. So anyway, I just know that with the length of coax that I have there and all the other stuff, that this thing fed directly with coax is where it wants to work at. And what that means is that I've, over the years, ran it like this. I get bored and I switch it and I add ladder line, but I've ran it like this, and I generally talk between 3.8 and 3.9, or a little bit above that. And so I can literally just go ahead and use no tuner, let the amplifier match the mismatch, and whatever is happening with the feed line between the loop and all that, it obviously looks really close to 50 ohms. And I don't know why. I'm not an expert on this. I don't have scientific proof. I just know that that's what I've experienced.